Here on Autogefühl with Thomas, we'll have an extensive preview of the all-new Mercedes E-Class, the E220d. You see with a sporty front grille, and behind me we'll also take a look at the E350e, the plug-in hybrid, and that one has also the more elegant front grille. So we'll tell you everything about the differences, what about this different front grille, the exterior, and of course the very impressive interior, which more reminds of an S-Class, I can tell you so far. And we'll also take a look at those engines, because we also have the engines on display that are right here in that vehicle. And let us start here with that one. And wow, what a color! It has this little kind of green stitching and the really shiny color. I really like that. Haven't seen such color so far, but incredibly fancy, definitely. And what we can see here, we have the two different front grilles. This one here, two horizontal fins, and the big Mercedes logo is put here, not in 3D, but for a 2D logo. They have created it very well, I think. A front camera is placed below here, optionally of course, and there's a sensor behind that one here. That's the reason why it's not 3D, that you can hide all the sensors behind it. The old school Mercedes logo is put right on the top than here. And I can tell you so far, this sporty look here, that pleases me a little bit more than the classic look. We'll also soon compare, but of course I want to hear your comments about that one. Basically, at least as I've seen in the price list in Germany, the E-Class more has a concept of different packages you can pick. For example, an Elegance package or an AMG package, and there you can really define, or exclusive package, there you can really define what you want to have on the exterior and on the interior. And if we move on here to the side, the show cars are always equipped with the top LED headlights. You do not get them from standard equipment, you have to know that. Then it looks a little bit different, but very sensual lines here with the LED signature lights. But I mean, with this color, maybe any car would look great. 19-inch as for the rims here on the side, already quite huge, in a two-color scheme. That is very beautiful. And the basic shape of the E-Class rather remains the same, but it's a completely new platform underneath. And I'll just go behind just for 1 second, that you can take a better look at the car overall to follow the line. And you see we have a rather classic layout with the new E-Class. There's no real revolution to it. It's called W213, that's the internal code. And it will be more expensive than the A6 or the 5 Series. And with the length of 4 meters and 92, it gained 6 centimeters in length, but has 100 kilograms less in weight. And that's, for example, a very crucial point about this car, that you could also save some weight here. And we see the rear, check those tail lights. Here again, I mean, we've seen, for example, recently a lot of Mercedes convertible or coupes, and that one here has rather the classic layout as for the rear lights, not really drawn that horizontally. And when I take a better look at here at the rear now, well, I think it's really elegant, definitely. And I think the lights don't look that clumsy than on the C-Class, because I think they have drawn it a little bit wider. But definitely no design revolution, but you always have to think about E-Class customers. They would probably be a little bit irritated by a real revolution in design, and so you rather keep it that way. Privacy glass here, by the way, you see that the glass is darkened out a little bit. Those fake exhausts here, they're always fake. The real out intakes, if you look here, there's nothing in it. It's just plain black plastic, and that's the reason, because it's a 220d. The small diesel engine will also soon look on display, and the real exhaust is, well, just behind here. I can feel 2 exhaust pipes right down there facing down. Very interesting. Of course, we'll get inside before also checking the plug-in hybrid, and this is the real highlight about the all-new E-Class. Look at that. You don't have to get it with genuine leather equipment. Here on display car, they still do. I think the real highlight is the matte wood and the styling of the interior, because it so much reminds me of the S-Class. If you look there, behind the steering wheel we got a new, very huge TFT screen. And let me just get on the co-driver seat, then I can show you that very well, and you can still see what I mean. And that's just wow. The screen goes like, this is one screen from here to here. Maybe we can do something here, I'm not sure. Yeah, there it is. And this one screen. And the other screen is then right here for example, also GPS, but you can also get GPS commands right here. And, well, there have been some problems with the digital screen with the S-Class, I heard also in the comments, because, you know, when you give me some comments there, when you drive such a car, then we also can learn what about the everyday problems. So I'm still kind of a fan of analog instruments because less can go wrong there. But when it works, it's very clear display, very nice visualization, definitely. And it really makes a very clean atmosphere. And look at those very central structures we have here. Everything is clean. Just the lower part of the console, that one is still classic Mercedes as we know from other models. And maybe if we go around here with our cameraman Holger, who's also doing a tremendous job here on the GME Mobile Show. Also, come around here, Holger, please. Also give some shouts out to Holger, please, because, you know, holding the camera with the rig, with the light and the all the stuff on there is really also physically very demanding. So please give shout outs to Holger. If you look from here inside, there you see what I mean with the central layout. And I've talked about it with quite a lot of Mercedes designer, and the thing is what they try to do, they try to hide the gaps. For example, here, there's a gap behind, but because this part is overlapping, it's a little bit hidden. And you can use it for the LED lighting here in the interior, which is at blue, one of my favorite colors at the moment. And I would definitely pick an E-Class here in this matte wood. You can really feel the structure of the wood, and that's just something I really love about that one. If you sit in this interior, you really think, this is an S-Class. It's definitely an S-Class. Let me close the door. And I mean, when you drive the S-Class, you feel sometimes a little bit, especially on European roads, that's a little bit too much, too big. And that's not always good to pay more, or to go for a bigger car. Sometimes it feels better to go for the smaller car on purpose. And I can really very well imagine that one here. So I think the only problem for Mercedes is that there's no reason to buy the S-Class anymore if you drive the car yourself. The S-Class, from now on, will only be a true chauffeur car. At least that's my impression, because really, when you look at that one here, and of course soon we will also drive the all-new Mercedes E-Class, and then we can tell you more about also to the difference from the S-Class. So really overwhelming interior, very nice. And of course standard equipment will also feature non-leather alternatives. Mercedes is quite good in that respect. So I'll put the seat as I would be driving, because that's always a good comparison then how it will look in the rear. And that will be very exciting. So let's see how much space we will have in the rear. That is the diesel engine, by the way. If Holger is there, we can just take a look at that one. It's always nice to have such a display. This diesel engine here, 194 horsepower. CO2 emissions, 112. Official consumption is about 4 liters. Will that work? I think it will rather be 6 liters. But I mean, you don't have to go for the biggest engine. And this one here will surely be a good European fleet engine, because, you know, for the big fleets, for the big corporations, they of course try to get, you know, low consumption vehicles, as they sometimes also pay the fuel for the co-works and have to keep the costs very low. Interesting, by the way, that's also, you know, just one sign that engines are nowadays rather also computers. You can see it right here. And with the electrification that is coming step by step, this fact will of course even improve, and we'll soon see it also with the hybrid version. But let's finish this version here so far with getting in the rear of the car, and this will be very exciting how much space I will still have. I hope she doesn't change the seat. No, it doesn't look like that. And there it is. You see you have a lot of knee space here left, and that's called then the biggest difference if you, for example, compare the C-Class. C-Class has way less knee space than right here. However, headroom-wise in the sedan, well, it steps up here a little bit in the ceiling, but then it's okay. But as soon as I go a little bit forward, that's really limited then. If you want more headroom, then you should probably go for the Estate. But you know, that way for 190 in height, it's still okay. However, I'm not the biggest fan anymore of sedan chauffeuring, because you see, you have a rather, you know, sleeping position here in the rear, and well, that's good for relaxing, but maybe not for long rides, because you sometimes also want to just sit a little bit more upright, and there's no real function to change that. And very nice that also here on the rear part, you can see on the inside of the doors, all of this design scheme is carried on. The Burmester sound system, this one is optional. We cannot test the sound right yet, but we can also take a look at the trunk. So Holger can move on to the trunk, and I'll activate it here in the front and hope it opens. So there it is. There it is. Ta-da! Flips up. And I mean, for a sedan, they have really worked on that one. Wow. Well, the car is longer now. No replacement tire is right here. You can get that optional usually. Then you have, without the replacement tire, you have more space. And those are really reasonable dimensions. You can hang some bags in here. And let's see if we don't kill someone when we flip the seats. You can flip the seats from here, but you see they don't flip till the end. You have to release them here, and then go to the rear compartment and put them the way down. I'm not sure if this is really the best solution. This is a 1/3, 2/3 split, and then you have a very long loading area. However, if you want to carry more, you should then go for the Estate, which will of course follow at some point. The E-Class Estate is also very famous in Europe, not that famous in the US, of course. So this is the electric hatch closing here. Whoa, that went fast. Maybe let's test out the sensor. Okay, this one is just flipping out. It's not electric, but as it goes back, I will, you know, I'm very brave just for you guys, and of course for all the children that I might be protecting with my sacrifice here. The last time you see my right arm, probably. Wow. Hey, that was nice. Usually we see, you know, that it's kind of dangerous with those electric hatches. Here, maybe they realize they have to do something after watching Autogefühl videos, of course. Maybe here and behind. Hey, that's really okay. Even although it was quite fast, I think this one is one of the best reactions yet we see of an electric hatch. Maybe one of my favorite parts here of the all-new E-Class. Very interesting, and you see, such details you can only see when you really test them right here. And now let's move on to a different kind of engine here. What we can see here. This one here is the plug-in hybrid. And the system power is at 286 horsepower, and here we have the combustion engine. And there it is, the electric drive. And I'm not sure if you know how electric drive basically works. You see, there are magnets here on the outside, and the polarity is then switched back and forth, and therefore the inside then is turning. So, you know, I'm not a real physicist, but this one here is the basic principle of an electric engine, and that's also the reason why an electric engine is so efficient in comparison to a combustion engine. Combustion engine also just burns out a lot of heat, and the efficiency of an electric engine is basically way better, and that's why that also might be the future for all of us. And this is a 350e, the plug-in hybrid, and you see the plug-in is right here at the back. Here connected with the wall box. Those ones usually cost about 1,500 euros. And then you can also charge them very fastly. If you just charge it as a standard household plug, it takes overnight, 8-9 hours surely to load it. But here with the wall box, you can load it half time, even quarter the time. That's a very interesting thing. Maybe let's see if the trunk here is then reduced. Yes, you can see it right here. It says also plug-in hybrid. It's kind of like, hey, this is the place where I reduce the trunk. Me, the plug-in hybrid. You see, you got the step here. That's quite a lot you lose, definitely. But of course, you can also gain with the plug-in hybrid. And that is, of course, an electric range. If you have the possibility to charge at work or to charge at home, that's the question. We also see a different exterior color. I also love to show you different colors on the exterior, on the interior always. Also different rims. Those ones are one step larger, 20-inch, but very nice. The tires are a little bit overlapping, so they're really way overlapping. So they are protecting the rim, and that might be a solution to really protect your rims, because we have quite often that they are always maybe even larger than the tire. And then you easily damage them. Take a look here inside at the rear. Different kind of setup, like the other interior, I think a little bit more. This one here, a little bit overdone, I think. But we can here also take another look at the interior screen then, because the other one is also activated then. Let's see, maybe we move around, because this lady here is not finished yet taking smartphone photos. So, small stroll around the car. Hope you enjoy our live tour here. Most Autogefühl authentic episodes that are right here. This is here in the shiny wood. Don't like it really that much, because now the lady is getting up. That's always on motor shows. So, no matte wood here. I would prepare the matte one, because there you can also see some fingerprints. If you look inside then here now, you can see the two screens. And the right screen is kind of the setup like in the S-Class, and of course Mercedes wants to use as much same parts as possible also to reduce some costs. And we will turn down the volume here now. Same here in other Mercedes vehicles. I close the door. And the thing is, you're not really overwhelmed, because you have a combination between old and new. The same like in the, for example, S-Class Coupe we've driven here as well. This one here, also from the visualization, is quite common still. 4 vents, and I think you have quite good control over all of the system. I also have a standard gear shifting lever here, especially for our American friends still. And overall, it's a really, really cozy atmosphere. But, you know, as I said, without being told, oh, this is totally futuristic and I don't know what to do with this car. Because the basic controller with the center knob is still kind of the same. And to me, again, the highlight, those sensual lines, you know, which say, I'm not a really true sports car, I am more the luxury sedan, which it truly is. And I think they found a very nice way. And design-wise, I think Mercedes is showing us here that they're really on the top of the game as for the interior design, definitely. So there's also a panoramic roof. And I'll get out there again. Seat heating and seat cooling available, by the way. But you know, if you go for cloth or Alcantara seats, you don't really need seat cooling at all. Let's close this review with the front, because as I've told you initially, this is the different front. The sensor is sitting here then, and well, we have seen recently very weird sensor layouts. Also, for example, with Jaguars, this also looks weird, but somewhere you have to put it. Otherwise, if you put all the sensors up there, it's blocking your view. And this one here, the elegant front grille, see this is a classic Mercedes layout, and then also with the 3D star up there, which is, yeah, that's a sad thing. It happens so frequently that it's broken off, and that's also one reason why Mercedes in the 90s went rather away from this stuff, because almost every Mercedes you see in Germany, for example, it got ripped off and someone has hanging it on their Eastpak bag or something like that. And really weird thing that you have to damage such a car then. However, I want to hear your opinion. Which front grille would you go for? Maybe scroll back to the very front, or Holger scrolls back to there. I would go for the sporty one, not for this one. This one looks too much old school for me. The other one, I think, is a good compromise between elegance and the new kind of sporty Mercedes style. Looking forward to your comments here on our extensive tour of the all-new Mercedes E-Class. And we will surely see us at our full driving review that will also be coming up at a later stage, of course, here with Thomas on Autogefühl. And with Michael Kels, the chief engineer for the new E-Class, we're going to take a look beneath the hood and, of course, also beneath what we see on the outside, because we've shown you everything on the exterior and the interior. And now we want to know what's really new. I've already mentioned one figure that we save about 100 kilograms in weight.
Yes.
How did you achieve that? And what were the main changes here, what we cannot see on the first hand?
Yeah, it's mainly two things. And the first thing is really the body in white. Body in white contains, especially in the dampening areas where the dampening straps are sitting, is all aluminium, but also in the back. The car has a lot of aluminium in the structure. So finally, this aluminium is one of the biggest portions to gain weight. The other good effect is that, on the other hand, it's much stiffer. So finally, we get also better driving performance. We get the struts optimized in their links. So finally, driving performance gets better and the weight gets down. The other portion of it is on our new diesel engine, we are also a lot lighter. So finally, the engine is the other portion of it if you take the diesel.
We'll soon take a look at that one here, of course. This one here is the petrol engine, the E400. We'll soon take a look beneath the hood. But first of all, I want to know, just from an emotional standpoint, of course, this is more about the design. And what's your favorite part here for you on the new E-Class?
From the part, I think, especially on the front in this car, you see the AMG Sports package in that case. That's really one of my favorites. But on the other hand, we cannot see at this time, but also our elegant new design with a star on the hood
we've seen that
is
well, yeah.
really wonderful. So finally, for me, very important was get a widespread between really luxury, comfort, exclusive car, and on the other hand, sportiness, like we have it here, with the sportiest you can actually get with the 400.
Can you show us something in the side profile of the car where we can also rediscover the new type of engineering we have here in the car?
Yeah, on the side wall, finally what you see is mainly in the rear. Yeah. You see the catwalk line finally that gives the car the shape. But on the other hand, you see that the wheels are really very flat to the surface. You can see that we have taken the wheels again out as far as possible. So that you have a very good stance, very good driving performance. So finally, from that basis, you have a very good opportunity to drive pretty sporty, especially on the 400. Or the 4MATIC in this case. So all-wheel drive, and there really we have great performance and really sportiness.
What was your main goal, also when you think about the competition, how they act on the on this segment here? What was your main goal, your main target when you were developing this new generation?
There are mainly three things. So the one is really from all the entertainment systems, from our new electric system, also from the assistance systems, especially. We have a completely new electric architecture, which you cannot see, but that's kind of the brain of the car, so it's intelligence, and that we raised a lot. So with new bus systems and so on, that we can really process the data very quickly to make possible what this car now can do, not only on the first step to the autonomous driving again, but also on the parking, like with the parking app and the remote parking. So all these systems with in that case with your smartphone. So you take your smartphone, you pull down an app out of the App Store, and then if you have ordered the parking package, you can with this then remote park the car. So you do not need the key, which is also anyway one of the nice things about the car. You also do not need the key for driving. Yeah. We have always keyless start, and if you order additionally our door package, then you can really also open the door with the NFC technology, so near-field communication of your smartphone, and you can put it inside the car. The smartphone is detected, is used as a key, and you can drive off. So finally, as you always carry anyway, mostly the smartphone with you, you do not need the key.
You're talking about a new electric architecture. Yes. How far is it a step to a complete here autonomous driving and also to cars that are, on purpose built as electric cars and on purpose built as autonomous cars? How far are we here then with the new E-Class?
We are very, very close. We have shown in Las Vegas with the CES that we really can drive the car autonomous. Yeah? So the capability of the car is there. It is regulations. It's also the availability of the right map material and so on that really does not allow us to drive autonomous at this time. But the capability of...
Why is Tesla doing it? Because they are just ignoring the regulations? Or?
They are not driving autonomous also. So in the end, Tesla has a little bit different philosophy, but we are nearly, for the customer, having the same situation. So you should not take your hands off, but you can do it. Yeah, but don't do it, okay? I have to say this because it's pretty clear. Yes, you are always responsible for the car driving. And every company actually says, there's no doubt, yeah, the responsibility is with the driver still. We are not in the situation where you can drive autonomous. But the support is great. So finally, the car can drive to 210 kilometers an hour. The car can drive really behind another car, follow the car, and drive also with steering assistance. Yeah.
Do you have to keep the hand at the steering wheel, or can you just leave it off, basically?
You could leave it off, but you should not do it.
Okay, but it's like the beeping system. Like I'm testing the GLE at the moment, and I just leave like one hand on the steering wheel. But as soon as I take it off, it says this beep, and then it's the same here.
It's not the same here in that case. So our new system to also operate our instrument cluster, yeah, with our new touch control buttons. You can also put just your finger on the touch control button, so swipe the finger. You do not have to steer anymore. Yeah? So in the end, the main thing is that you are present, so we have to know whether you are present or not. The time is a little bit longer, so the beep comes a lot later. Yeah? And also the speeds are different, and also the curve angles and speeds are a little bit different than before. And finally, as said, you take the touch control buttons, which anyway are used for all the using of instrument cluster and entertainment system. You can use this, and then with this you just you really set the hands on control.
As an engineer, right now it's also still a lot about the engine, the classic combustion engine. Yeah. Can you show us the two engines we have here? Maybe starting with this one, and tell us something about the engines we have here in the lineup. Maybe we can just open the hood. I'll already open it here right now. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. So this is the E400.
This is the E400. So our well-known V6, in this case with 333 horsepower. In this case here as a 4MATIC. And in the end we really get better driving performance than we had before, because together with our new electric architecture, we take a lot of influence by the dynamic switch. And the dynamic switch allows you really to shift from very good comfort to also very sporty driving.
And that also affects the suspension then?
It affects the engine, no doubt. And it affects also in this car here especially the engine, because this car is equipped with the dynamic suspension system, so dynamic body control. It's our new suspension system. It's an adjustable dampening system, but based on steel. So it's like our already well-known air body control, but in that case the air is a steel spring.
But you can also optionally get the air suspension as well.
Oh yeah, you can get the air suspension as well. But in this case, this new dynamic body control, this really substitutes the, let's say, old sport suspension. So finally, you can just vary between a little bit more comfortable than the old sport suspension, and you really have more sports feeling if you put it to Sports Plus. So you have 3 different levels, and then can vary. So that also, if you like a sports car, you still have the opportunity to ride on comfort very smooth.
The system we've already seen in the A-Class facelift, that the spread is wider than, especially with the AMG version, between the comfort and the very sporty mode. I think it's a good thing that you can really choose no matter in which situation you are. More news is with a E220d. Maybe we can move over there. because from an engineering standpoint, there are even more news to tell. We have to wait just a second. There's always a lot happening here when you're at the motor show. And we have to wait just for a few seconds. Then the car is free again and we can open the next hood. We've already seen here the 220d, the diesel engine right here. And we'll make a short cut and come back to you very soon. And there it is now, the 220d. And what's really new with this diesel engine?
This diesel is the first engine out of a completely new engine family. And it's a 4-in-a-row engine. And the very special thing about this, and you can see it from this side maybe, so have a short look, is that all the oxycut, the catalytic converter, the particulate filter, is sitting next to the engine, so really on the hot side. And so the temperatures are higher, the system is faster in performance. And so everything is combined in one big block that gives you really better emissions of the car. And this is one of the big changes we had, because no car at this time has everything here really in the front. So finally only the passive part of the exhaust system is underneath the car, but everything that's active is sitting here in the front.
Talking about emissions, we have already seen the new plug-in hybrid as well.
Yes.
What about, can you tell us something about the range there, and also what do you expect as a market share? Is it just kind of for show, or do you really want to introduce it massively, for example, also in business fleets where people can charge their cars at work, for example?
Absolutely. So finally the goal is to raise the amount of hybrids, no doubt. The car is actually running about 30 kilometers on electric, purely electric, but also in combined traffic. It's running very good. So in the end, the hybrid is nice to drive. And on the other hand, it's not only because of the energy saving and using electric energy, but it's also a performance car. So it's very sporty, and especially it delivers high torque at low RPMs. So in the end, you can also get spinning wheels if you really push the pedal. So it has both, and I think that's also very important. So on the one hand, that you can really drive electric, and on the other hand, that you also have some fun with the car.
Thank you very much for this insight. And we are now looking forward, of course, to drive the all-new E-Class in its different versions with the different engines. Of course, we are very excited now to test all, especially the difference, and of course also the plug-in hybrid. And of course, when we test that one, you will be with us as well. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time at Autogefühl, and also check out more Geneva Motor Show episodes. They are all linked in a video description in our special playlist. Thanks.